We got Joe from Halestorm with us on the line. How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Tigman here, Q103, Albany's rock station. We're excited because not only are you coming back to the Capital Region area, you got your big tour coming through, a brand new venue, Albany Capital Center, but also a new album coming out.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that was a new venue. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The album comes out the 27th of July. It's happening, finally.
Vicious. You excited about this or what? I mean, is there big expectations on this new album? It's been a few years since the last studio album.
Yeah, we're really excited, man. We made I think we finally made the album that we've always been trying to make, and not to say that any of the others were failures, but we've always been searching to, like, how do you take this live energy that we have on stage and bottle it up and do it in the studio without making a live record, you know, and get that energy. And I think we've missed the mark on a few for that. I mean, I'm proud of all our records, and all of them have been learning experiences that have led to this one. But we work with a new producer on this, Nick Raskulinix, who's like, you know, he's like a rock god for producers. He's done Foo Fighters, Alice in Chains, Deftones, Mastodon, Korn, Queens of the Stone Age, Rush.
Wow.
I mean, he's like the guy, you know, and it was just an honor to get to work with him, and we just dove right in, and he became the fifth member of the band and really, you know, helped us meet, I think, our potential and what we've always been going for. And everything was more, louder, faster, harder. And I think we really captured some great moments on tape. It's cool.
He's got quite the resume, huh? You just rattled off some big names there.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, the dude is like the band whisperer or something. And he's such a rock and roll fan and geek that, like, I mean, he can name the studio that, like, this Judas Priest record was recorded at and what drummer, you know, it's just like, he just is into rock and roll, and it shows. You know, it shows on our record. He didn't let us get away with anything that wasn't cool. So
yeah, right. Well, looking forward to it. We've heard the debut single, "Uncomfortable." We've been playing that on the Metal Box radio show and loving it here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing more stuff. July 27th, the new album drops, Vicious. You've had some great success with all your albums so far. The debut album, of course, you had the Strange Case of, which you earned your first Grammy with that album. You had 2015's Into the Wildlife, which was your highest charting album. So that's why I'm saying, is there, like, big expectations? Do you need to chart higher than Into the Wildlife on this next album?
You know, I don't know. That's out of our control. We just do the best we can writing and playing, and if cool stuff happens around it, then fantastic. And, you know, we're hoping for the best, but I don't know. We did our job for the record. We busted our butts in the studio, and I think we did something really cool. So hopefully that gets reflected in a great spot on the charts. And if not, I'm not that worried anyway, because we still go out and play for more fans every time we play somewhere. So it's still growing.
And, Joe, your musical taste in the band, it runs the gamut. You all have a wide variety of musical tastes, and that showed on the covers album you put out last year, Reanimate 3.0, the covers EP. You covered Whitesnake, Joan Jett, Metallica, Soundgarden, Sophie B Hawkins, and 21 Pilots. Quite a wide range of musical tastes. Who decided on doing those covers? Did you all come together as a group and say, oh, yeah, we definitely want to cover that? Or did one person lean towards one way and someone else the other?
No, it was all of us, and it was also like our A&R guy and our whole team. We ask them, like, we always have a list, and then they have a list of songs they'd like to hear us cover, and somewhere in the middle of all that, you know, we'll try out a few things. Some things work, some things don't, and it changes while we're making it too. Like, I forget, we're going to do some song for the last song, and we were kind of starting to go over it. We're like, man, this sucks. Like, we don't want to do this, and so we quit. We're like, let's just do Ride the Lightning. Like, we had talked about it, and then you realize you only have one day to record it, and you're like, wait, this is a little more complicated than I thought it would be, because we hadn't learned it before that. And,
right.
But it worked out. We were able to get it, but yeah, I mean, it changes. It's fluid, and there'll be more covers to do. You know, we like doing those EPs in between albums, so we got to start making our list for the next one coming up.
Yeah, the Metallica cover was great. The Still in the Night, Whitesnake, which you put out as a single, and that was great. And you know what the surprise one was on that album? The one that I really thought was really good. You're going to probably be surprised, but I loved the Sophie B Hawkins cover.
Yeah, Damn. Yeah, that's a trip, isn't it?
Damn, I wish I love you hadn't heard. Wow.
Yeah, that was our A&R guy. Was like, what do you guys think about trying this? And you know, we always say yes to, like, if it's music things or weird tours, like the Eric Church tour. Like, sure, let's see if we can win over some country people.
Yeah, why not?
Like, just and so we went in there and all, you know, kind of got this groove going with it. We're like, oh no, that's kind of cool. We can go with this. That'll be neat.
Yeah, it sounded good. It was interesting. Definitely was a surprise. I was like, I couldn't believe they're covering Sophie B Hawkins, but they pulled it off, and it sounded really good. That was on the Reanimate 3.0 covers EP, which you put out last year. Of course, the new album we talked about, Vicious, coming out on July 27th. The tour, how's the tour been going? You're doing this tour with In This Moment and New Year's Day. This is the second leg. You kicked it off back in April. It's kind of like a female voices of rock kind of thing you got going here. How's it been going so far?
Yeah, man, it's been amazing. It's been really, really cool. There's a bunch of cool things. Like, we realized a few days into it that, like, it's a really neat statement on the current state of women in hard rock and metal, because it's not just like, oh, it's a female-fronted band, and then you kind of get the idea. No, like, Lizzie, Maria from In This Moment, and Nash from New Year's Day all are so amazing at what they do, but they are all totally different. Like, all three bands are occupying a different space in this big genre, you know. In This Moment is more theatrical and dark, and, you know, it's this cool, almost witchy, gothy vibe thing, and we're just a rock and roll band. We like, Lizzie's voice is just mind blowing, and especially live, you hear just like transcend. I don't know. It's amazing. We try to make these. They're just coming from different places, and we also found out from Live Nation that, like, there's more women coming to the show than men. The scale's tipped for, like, a hard rock show.
Is that
like
right?
60-40 women to men, which kind of blew our minds. We'd never seen that before. And
wow,
it's awesome, man. There's all these girls out in the crowd, like, embracing these heavy moments that are so traditionally masculine, and you kind of realize that testosterone and masculinity have really, like, nothing to do with these awesome heavy moments that are happening on stage. Like, women can embrace it too and make it their own, and it's just it's a trip. It's really cool, and there's a ton of rock chicks out in the crowd. Like, you can't beat that.
Rock chicks in the crowd is always a plus, Joe. I think we can all agree on that. I mean,
yes, totally.
Do you really want the audience of a Rush show where it's all dudes?
I mean, hey, man, fan's a fan, but yeah, it's nice to have some eye candy too.
Yeah, absolutely, sure is. We're speaking with Joe from Halestorm. The big tour is rolling into the Albany Capital Center, new venue, just opened up earlier this year, right in downtown Albany, right next to the Times Union Center. This is going to be on August 3rd. Going to be Halestorm with In This Moment and New Year's Day. Looking forward to having you back here in the Capital Region. It's been a while. What were some of your influences growing up, Joe? Who made you decide to pick up the guitar and start playing?
Man, for me, it was, I grew up, when I was a kid until I was about 13, I grew up in Hartford, Wisconsin, a small town north of Milwaukee, and I would listen to the alternative station there. And in the mid-'90s, that was Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, you know, all the 90s rock. That music spoke to me. For some reason, I had to get a guitar, and I started learning Nirvana songs, and I subscribed to Guitar World, and you know, they have the transcriptions of songs you can learn, current or older songs, and just learning those songs and just kind of diving headfirst into rock. And, you know, nothing much has really changed. I'm still doing the same thing, you know, so I'm like a 90s dude through and through. That was what got me, and that was my introduction to music, and then expanding from there to the 80s and 70s and 60s and current, you know, like just all things music and guitar I'm totally all about. When I met Lizzie, she was not hip with the 90s scene. It was Cinderella and Janis Joplin and Deep Purple that got her into rock and roll. You know, it was like the 80s mostly, and that was, she was writing these cheesy songs. It was awesome. Like, she's still like that, man. And so I kind of brought her into the 90s, and she kind of showed me what the ropes of the 80s. Yeah. Like, you know, Tom Kiefer is really cool, and check this out, you know. And like, okay, that is awesome, man. And so we kind of all come from a bit of a different place, but it's just a love for music, and that's all.
Now, what would be your dream tour, Joe, if you could tour with any other band, one that you haven't toured with yet? What would be the pinnacle? What's the tour you want Halestorm to go on?
I want Halestorm and Foo Fighters, man. We've never even played a festival show with them. I've seen them a bunch when I was a kid in high school, on their second and third record and stuff, but I saw them on their first record too, but never toured with them. So one of these days,
that would be awesome.
That'd be a trip, man. We're such fans, and from what I understand, we have a lot of mutual friends, and it sounds like their vibe is similar to ours. Just really have a good time all the time, and have a good time having a good time, you know?
Joe, have you met Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters camp? Are you guys on their radar?
We haven't met him. Nick, who produced our record, has done a bunch of Foo Fighters records, and I know he showed Dave our record, and after we were done with it, and I guess Dave was totally digging it, so that was a trip. Oh, you know who else is digging the record?
Who's that?
Billy Corgan sent us a message on Instagram.
Really?
He loved the new song and is totally blown away by Lizzie's voice. And maybe I shouldn't be saying that because it was a nice message. But it was, like, for me, like, Smashing Pumpkins was my band in the 90s. That was, like, numero uno. And I bought the Aeroplane Flies High box set. You know, I listened to the B-sides. I was deep into that band. So they're actually going to be in Nashville on Friday night, and we're all going to go out and see them and kind of meet them for the first time. So I'm a little bit pumped.
I bet you are. How great is that? One of your heroes there is liking what he's hearing from your band. That's got to feel good, man.
Man, if you'd have told me that when I was 15, I'd have called you a liar.
Yeah, right? It's awesome. It's so cool, man. It's so good to see what's going on with you guys and the success you're having. We're speaking with Joe from Halestorm. So the goal is to get a Halestorm Foo Fighters or Halestorm Smashing Pumpkins tour. That's what we're going to be doing, trying to get that going.
Let's do it, man. I am not scared. That would be just a blast.
Can we get some kind of petition going online or something? Maybe we can work this out. We'll figure this out.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. But right now, it's, of course, about your current tour, and we're going to see you on August 3rd. Looking forward to it, Joe, because we haven't seen you in quite a while. Hailstorm, in this moment, New Year's Day, August 3rd, Albany Capital Center. You can get your tickets through Ticketmaster, 800-745-3000. And going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing you guys again, Joe.
Yeah, we can't wait, man. Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
And thank you. Appreciate it always, man.
See you on August 3rd.
Man.